super excited to now introduce to you our speaker today. We have Faith Ann Dalton, She is a former options coach and client success coach for the Pregnancy and Resource Center and BRIDGES Transformational Maternity Home of Rolla, Missouri. Uniquely, Faith is also an alumni of the PRC of Rolla and the BRIDGES Maternity Home program. She graduated from Salem College of Hairstyling in 2017 and paved a path from homelessness to self-sufficiency through the My Ridiculously Amazing Life curriculum. In 2022, Faith returned to PRC of Rolla as a coach to help other women on their own transformational journey. Her life-affirming story has been featured in Columbian Magazine, the Catholic Missourian, and even attracted the attention of Vice President Mike Pence in 2019. Faith is preparing to publish her first memoir, In This House We Lived. It remains dedicated to advocating for women and families choosing life. Faith and her husband, Gabe, and their 4 children live in St. James, Missouri, enjoy family game nights, and nature hikes. And as you can tell, I had to read that off, but I just want to say, this is what it's about, folks. For the missionaries here, if you've not heard one of these stories on your ride, get ready, because we're about to hear a really great one. If you could please give me a really warm welcome for Faith, that'd be awesome.
Wow, I love the energy going on here. You guys really know how to do this. Like he said, my name is Faith Ann Dalton, and I've come here today from St. James, Missouri, and I'm very thankful to be here. Before I arrived here today, I took a look through the Pregnancy Resource Center of Rolla's donor records and discovered something remarkable. Biking for Babies has been supporting PRC of Rolla since 2016. I found that significant because November of 2016 is when I first walked through the doors of PRC of Rolla as an abortion-minded client. Since opening in 2007, PRC has saved 4,125 babies. My baby being one of them. So on behalf of PRC of Rolla and mothers facing unplanned pregnancies, thank you, Biking for Babies. You have been a part of saving 4,125 babies' lives, and quite frankly, saving their parents' lives as well. I say that because abortion would have changed me forever. It's something I would never have come back from and would have deeply regretted. But thankfully, my story turned out very differently. Please allow my face and my son's face to stand for just one of the thousands you have impacted. Here's what happened. On my first visit, I was not a mother in crisis. I had just seen the PRC sign after taking a positive pregnancy test, before the reality of what that really meant had even set in. I thought to myself, I'm a pregnant person. I wonder what they do there. I walked in, met the staff, and heard these words, anything you need, we can help you get it. Over the next week, as I told the people I trusted about my pregnancy, I was devastated by their responses. They said things like, you're too young to have a baby, your life is ruined, you'll have to drop out of school, you're not ready to be a mother. And the most devastating came from my fiance. Abort this baby, and we will try again after we are married. I felt afraid, alone, confused, and hopeless. Without the support I needed, I believed I was bound to fail. So I went back to the PRC, this time a mother in crisis. Again, they told me, anything you need, we can help you get it. And that is exactly what they did. After a couple of months, my housing situation changed, and I wasn't in a position to support myself. PRC had partnered with a newly opened maternity home in Rolla, and a co-founder of PRC, Jane Dalton, was the program manager. She invited me to stay there and work through the My Ridiculously Amazing Life program, a life planning curriculum also authored by Jane, to guide women from homelessness to self-sufficiency. I am living proof that it works. Within a year, I was a nursing mother, college graduate, employed in my field of study with a 401k, and most importantly, I became a baptized Christian. And I stayed in the program. My total time in the maternity home was 33 months, because true transformative change doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, learning new habits, and a deep desire to change. The next year, I became debt-free. I bought a car with cash and shared my testimony in Washington, D.C. with leaders of our country. Not long after the DC trip, I launched from the maternity home into my own home with my 2-year-old son, Noah. I did well on my own 2 feet, no HUD housing, no government assistance, completely self-sufficient as a single mother, doing work that to me didn't really feel like work, it felt like fun. Throughout my time in the program, I got to know the CEO of PRC, Joe, his wife Jane, and their family really well. Now this next part is not unique to the program. It's just how things happen for me. Joe and Jane became godparents to Noah. I often sat with them at church and even spent Christmas with their family. Over time, I got to know their children well, and one of their sons, Gabe, captured my heart in a way I couldn't ignore. Eventually, I asked permission to get to know Gabe better, and they agreed. Gabe and I grew close, fell in love, and it didn't take long before he asked Noah for permission to marry me. On June 27, 2020, Gabe and I were married. Joe walked me down the aisle, and I wore Jane's wedding dress. I always clarify that this is not part of the program, because I've heard well-meaning people say things like, hey, maybe you'll even get a husband out of it. Sorry folks, PRC is not a matchmaking service. Another unique part of my story is that I went from being a client to volunteering for PRC, and then after just a couple of months, I was hired on as staff as a coach for abortion-minded clients, much like I once was. As I love to say, when you get to where you are going, turn around and help her too, for there was a time not long ago when she was you. You might be wondering where Noah is tonight, and that's a perfectly valid question. After Gabe and I married, and once Noah turned 4, the 2 of us and Noah's dad came together to build a parenting plan with Noah's best interests in mind. Right now, Noah is in Tennessee, spending part of his summer vacation with his dad. I believe that is another redemptive element of this story. Choosing life for Noah also meant choosing life for his dad's story too. Even though he was reluctant to fatherhood, just as I was once reluctant to motherhood. Missionaries like you make organizations like PRC and Bridges possible. Thank you so much for cooperating with God and doing the work to fund life-saving and life-changing organizations. Before I close, I'd like to share something very special with you, since you are the first to hear it officially. Over the past 4 years, I've been quietly writing my memoir, In This House We Lived. You're also the first to hear the public announcement of the official title. How cool is that? This book tells the full story of how God met me in my crisis, the power of life-affirming ministry, and the hope that came from choosing life. It is my way of turning around and helping the next mother, just as you have helped me. And as an added blessing, every purchase of the book will support BRIDGES Maternity Home through contributions from both myself and my publisher. The book is scheduled for release in early 2026, but if you'd like to follow the journey or stay updated, you can visit my website at faithanddalton.com. There's a QR code on your centerpiece of your table that also takes you directly to the website. Thank you for letting me be the living, breathing testimony of the work you do.
Don't put a crier as the MC. It's a terrible idea. Wow, man, thank you so much for sharing that testimony. I know that cannot be easy, so thank you for sharing that in this room. That's so awesome. If I could, real quick, for those, I know there's some of you, those who volunteer to work at a pregnancy resource center, do you mind standing up real quick for us? Can we recognize you for those who work at a pregnancy resource center? That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for, is to know what we're supporting. Missionaries, I know sometimes you encounter some awful things out there, some really hard things, but remember, every little sacrifice you have, it goes to somebody else if you offer it up. So, gosh, God is so good. He can use so much of our suffering and faith. You're just such an inspiration to all of us, so thank you so much for that. It's awesome.